Luminar, with aggressive marketing, seem poised to push AI and machine learning to the forefront of photo editing software, especially when it comes to masks. But Adobe kind of went, hold on, wait a minute. We're Adobe. It's seemingly out of nowhere because it didn't come with a fall update like they generally do to most of the major Adobe products. The ability to use AI mask and machine learning in Lightroom has been one of the most pleasant surprises, and quite frankly, kind of shocking how well it works right out of the box. Adobe Lightroom has come a long way since I first started using it. More on that later. Today we're going to talk about my favorite app. Correction, favorite photo app. Premiere is still kind of my favorite video app. Resolve. I'm not ready to talk about you yet. Get out of here. So let's hop into using mask in Lightroom and why I find it to be a little bit addictive, but in the best possible ways. Now I'm in Lightroom version 11.4. I've got our little YS up here, which I didn't know you could put a color photo up at the top of the screen. Over in the develop panel, I've got Matthew from a recent session that we did. You can see his videos right here on this channel. At the very top is where we're looking here in this panel, which has changed from recent versions of Lightroom. Crop, we have our spot removal, we've got our red eye correction, and here is our masking, or Shift plus W. And what it's gonna do is bring up, select subject and select sky. You might be like, hey, isn't that in Photoshop? Yes, it is. And I gotta say, the more things that can come from Photoshop into Lightroom to speed up the editing process, the better. I'm gonna be all for it. Real quick, select sky. Let's see what it does. Toggle the mask on and off by hitting the shortcut O on your keyboard, and you can just go ahead and start making, say, an adjustment, and the mask will go away. And I'll just go from really extreme bright sky right here to show you on screen how your adjustments can automatically start working with or without the mask on. We'll just throw some texture in there. You can also add more mask at the top. Here we'll go with select subject and detecting. Voila, we've got Matthew over here fully mask covered, detected. And we can do edits and things on him. I'll just, for the sake of argument, maybe pull him up with a little bit more exposure or saturation. There we go, some sharpness there. If you need to do some more refining, Lightroom's got you covered with that too. Now you can, of course, come up with these three toggles, rename the mask, keep track of things. I don't know who has time to name stuff in Adobe products. But if you have a bunch of layers of mask, you know, naming for organization's sake is gonna come in handy right there. If you need to subtract a little bit from your mask, get your manual brush and just come right over here and voila, he's going back to before he had anything done to him. And I'll just undo that quickly. Come over here, I can also work on highlights like on that shirt of his. It's gonna bring it down some. And then I can go in and further refine like on his face area if I wanted to do that. So it almost becomes like this weird mini game of, will it find the subject or the background or the sky that you want it to find for you? And you might be saying, wait a minute, there's no background toggle on here. Well, hold on. Let's just do a quick little workaround. We'll come back, select our mask. We'll select subject, and up here in these toggles, we will quickly just do invert mask or Alt plus. And voila, now your entire background is selected. Just that easy, just that fast. So keeping with this weird mini game theme that I just went and made up in my head, here's like a harder photo to be like, okay, so what's it gonna select here as your subject? Let's just click on it and see what happens. Detecting. It went with the ice cream inside of the bowl over here. So here's where I'll toggle it on and on. You can see our colored areas that it just picked. Kind of, to be honest, I don't even know what the hell I wanted to pick on to focus in this photos. It did give me a great idea to come in here and darken the side of the bowl, brighten it in some areas in the final photo that I'll throw up here on the screen for you to check out right now. And we're getting to a point now where these masks are helping you with your creativity, and it literally just kind of helped me spot something that I wouldn't have thought about. Like this white bowl was kind of a little bit competing with the ice cream to try to focus. Your focus is kind of all over in this photo, but you know what I mean. Now masks are so good and so powerful. Let's select subject here. Again, my cousin. we will select her. We'll just do like a sort of brighten up thing. So that's the mask on one photo of my cousin. Let me come over here to this side of the screen, and I'll just come down to copy. And you can see you can now hit masking to copy the mask to other photos. So I'll select the rest of these as well, and I'll just hit paste. And Lightroom is gonna take its time. I'll check out the extra photos that you have, and those masks will be applied to the photos in the batch, which is like, what? Batch masking mask? Oh man, what is, I'm flabbergasted, I'm out of words. And now that mask with the brought up exposure is on each and every one of these photos. You can go up here and check the mask has been auto added to a photo just by copying and pasting. Now in Lightroom, there is GPU acceleration. So when you're doing something like AI and effects and even on exports, you could use your GPU to get a little, maybe 5 to 10% extra performance, AKA speed things up. Now, if you don't have that turned on, let's see how to do that. Edit, Preferences, in the Performance tab of Preferences, use Graphic Processor. You can check use GPU for display, use GPU for image processing, and use GPU for export. I have the RTX 2070 listed right here, so full graphics acceleration is turned on right now. And this will also work if you're using integrated graphics on a CPU. A few more things you can do here just for like preferences really when it comes to using the mask. You can of course have it sit right here. You can collapse it inwards and work sort of with it. You can also drag it over here to your dock area and use it in that way. Just completely customizable. If you want to create new masks, you can just go ahead and say like the brush, it'll just add over to this right side of the panel. And if you're getting a little bit overwhelmed with some of the stuff being open in the panel, just come up to one of the labels and you can go into solo mode to close out the rest of things in the panel. You can come in and expand all to open up all the tabs down here. If you don't like your mask color, you can also come over here and customize it to maybe green. But we like to keep ours on red to keep the color theme going around here. We're in our Jurassic Park mode here. Who remembers when Adobe had botched software? This is the original Adobe Photoshop Lightroom from 2007 that I have still poorly in its original packaging with book and the CD in the CD case before the world of Adobe went all CC. So I kind of have a little bit of a special fondness for how far this software has come in for using Lightroom in general. And when it came out in 2007, the other choice would have been Apple. Apple came out with Aperture, which was going to do a similar thing as Lightroom. And I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit that I was not aware how important exposing shadows, highlights, and the white area, black area was to photos. Like the software didn't quite make sense to me at first. My experience was in real life in dark rooms where we had a very modest option to just adjust overall exposure on the imager in the dark room. That's really all we did. We didn't get into digital stuff because it just quite frankly didn't really exist when I was shooting 35mm and got into photography. This software really opened my eyes up to that whole thing. So there was so much more to learn in the world of photography, and I gotta kind of thank Lightroom to a certain extent for that. So I think it's a legit question to ask. Is this a good thing to have so much tech, machine learning, AI learning in photo creation? We've seen some great examples of that kind of art style, and it's almost a new genre on the internet. But I gotta say, it comes down to it's a tool, and it depends on who's wielding that tool. And we know that some big corporations are definitely going to exploit it. But hopefully there can be some kind of balance in yin and yang. I'm optimistic on the future of this tech. Like, I'm enjoying it right now. And I gotta say, I can't think of another time Adobe's ever put software out that has worked with a feature so well on the first try, and it's actually been so well received, adopted, and used. And obviously I enjoy it so much, I'm making a video on it right now. Clearly I've been using Adobe stuff for a while, so generally we're fighting off bugs and things like that. So it's kind of nice for everybody to get a win here with machine learning and AI working so well right out of the box. And it helps you as a creator. Things that used to take 5, 10, 15, 20-ish minutes can now be done in under 2 minutes here with these automated masks that you can use right in Lightroom. And to be able to do that in a batch, where in Photoshop it was one photo at a time, that is quietly a game-changing feature that I am just all for. So Adobe, you're like 1 in 3,000 on some moves, but we're celebrating you. I'm gonna give you the props. You got it straight right here for what is still really my favorite photo editing app. Sorry, Photoshop. Sorry, I still do love you to get down to the nitty-gritty of things. You're not going anywhere, but Lightroom really does have something to tout and be proud of right here. So hats off to the team who made this happen. Did I say hats off? Maybe mask off or on? Okay, I won't do any more jokes. But if you like this kind of content right here, talking apps, being on the computer for once, I'm here on the machine. This is what this thing is hanging on the side. I'm looking at the computer. Haven't done that in a little while from this angle. Subscribe right here on this channel. Pick up some channel themed apparel like this YeagerShots shirt I have on right now, as well as some photo and video themed apparel. Swing on by YeagerShots.com for all of that. And remember, if you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to never miss a shot from YeagerShots.com.